Welcome back to 10-Foot Customs, and on this special episode, it's mostly going to be voiceover. And the reason why is because this is the 2-year anniversary of the 10-Foot Customs YouTube channel. As of the shooting of this episode, we are at 234 subscribers. I was shooting for 200 by the 2-year anniversary, and we have surpassed that, which is great. And I'm only hoping from here on out it will grow. The episode that you're going to see here is going to focus on mainly the cars and trucks and stuff like that that we worked on over the last 2 years. Because there was mowers and scooters and stuff. I'm not going to focus on those in this episode, but it's going to highlight the, I think, 11 main vehicles that were on the channel, and give you a rundown of where they are and what's the plan for some of them, or all of them technically. I want to thank you all for your support over the past 2 years, helping this channel grow, and I hope you'll tell your friends and your family to go take a look, subscribe, and I hope you enjoy the next few minutes going through the builds that have been featured on 10-Foot Customs YouTube channel. Starting with this truck as really I think this is the first vehicle on the channel. It also has some of the highest views of all the vehicles I've done. One of these episodes for this truck has almost 8,500 views. But some of the plans for this truck coming up this year, I actually just talked to the owner of this truck. He wants to put a light bar and like a roll bar in the bed. So that's going to be in the works to put that in. And then I know when he was first getting ready to set this up, he really wanted to do a skid plate on the front. I don't know if that's still in the works, but I don't see, if he wants to put a skid plate on the front of it, we will put a skid plate on the front of it. And I think it would actually look really cool on this truck to have that. So those are two things that, again, one for sure I know we're going to do, and then possibly a skid plate on it. So you'll hopefully see this truck again for sure this coming year. This 2015 Jeep Cherokee that my wife had, this was her daily driver, and I did some engine work on it. I replaced all the rockers on the engine, but even though the transmission was replaced when we bought it because there was a failure, it just kept having issues, and we were taking it back to the dealer more often than we wanted to. So this vehicle has been sold or traded back in, and my wife now has a different daily driver. So this one is gone. 1962 Galaxie 500. This I was really hoping to get to do some work on, but in all reality, it would have been more work than I had the room for right now. Immaculate car for the most part, but the frame is gone. So we were going to do a swap onto a, or either find a new frame to put under it, or swap into a Crown Vic frame, and it just never happened. So this car was also sold this past fall of 2022, and is gone. Yeah, it was as far as most of the sheet metal goes, it was in great shape, and whoever got this has a great platform to start with. Other than this a little bit, you can see the minor dents in it, but In the interior on this car was just completely just gorgeous. But for a place for me where I don't have a garage to work in right now, or a big garage to work in, no lift or anything, it was doable, but it would have, I just didn't have the space to do it. And you can see right here the frame is just gone. So this car is also no longer on the project list. So this is Groot, my brother's daily driver, and this one has had some, extensive engine work. The engine was rebuilt. We didn't do the rebuild, but we did put all, he got the long block back. We put everything back on it, and we put the engine back in. But he's been driving it, and this past midsummer he realized that there was a sag, and half of his spring pack had fallen out of one side of the truck. And when he's looking at the other side, he decided that he just needed to replace the springs on it. So he started to do that, and in doing so, he found out that one of the spring perches is rusted out, and it was kind of welded in somehow, or somehow we're gonna have to cut it out and kind of replace it because it's not factory anymore on that side. So that's one of the things we will be doing on Groot this year. In an episode, we'll be doing fixing the springs on it, or the spring perch, and a couple of things he wants to do is, I know the door hinges are worn out, so we're going to be doing door hinge episode, replacing those, and he wants to build a custom headliner. So we're not 100% sure on that yet, but that's, again, one of the things that we want to do for Groot this year will be a really cool probably fiberglass custom headliner, because currently he doesn't have one. So, but from the work we've done this past year, Groot's running great. It's got a 4-barrel carb on it, a Holley 4-barrel, and it runs really well on that. It had a 2-barrel, but so yeah. Look forward to seeing a couple episodes on Groot. And we come to Ruby. Ruby has probably one of the most extensive playlists so far on my channel. And she's really close to driving. I was very disappointed that in myself that I didn't get it done for this winter. But she's close. But with the way I had to pack her away in the garage, and Rusty in the garage, and my dad moving, and me having to get stuff out of his garage that was mine to put in my garage, there's just very little room to work on Ruby right now. So it's February. Weather's starting to change here in Ohio a little bit. Knock on wood, it keeps getting better. We'll get Ruby finished. I know a couple things I have to do on Ruby are gotta finish the front axle. I gotta do the new front axle on it. There'll be an episode on figuring out why the brakes still don't work properly. They keep bleeding off. I need to do the interior on Ruby, figure out what I'm doing with that, and get her tires swapped. And I got new rims for Ruby as well, so all that's going to go back on there. But Ruby's close. I mean, if I just pulled the wheels off of Rusty and put them on Ruby, that would be enough for right now. He's got wagon wheels, and they're going to go on there. So Ruby's very close to being on the road. It's just a bunch of little things that if I had the space right now, it would have been done already. But we'll get to her, and we'll have her done here hopefully very, very shortly. The Nova has not gotten the views actually I thought it was going to get. I mean, the views are in the couple hundreds per episode, which, whatever, it's what it is. The Nova is right now covered up and staying out of the salt. But this one will for sure be back. The owner of the Nova just messaged me the other day, wanting to know if I wanted to finish up some of the stuff that we had started. He actually almost sold the Nova this past fall, and he decided to keep it, and I think that was a great idea. So we do have the Dakota digital dash to finish up. There's a whole bunch of stuff to finish up for that. Transmission for the shifting, so the shift indicator, and the speedometer. We have the GPS speedometer we need to install, and I think we have to figure out the I think it's a Caltrax bar. I think no slappers. I don't remember what they're called. The slapper bars need to be adjusted properly. So there's probably 3, 4, 5 episodes possibly still for this Nova before it'll be officially done for what I know needs to be done. But that one for sure will be back this year. The C4 Corvette. This has just a couple odds and ends just to make it. My wife doesn't want to change it too much. She really likes the normal look of it. The exhaust is kind of crappy. I think we're going to get back into that a little bit this year. But sooner than later, I know we're going to hit the interior because the weather's good enough that that car sits outside under a cover, that if we have a nice 60-degree day, we can do the interior in it. And then the injectors need to, 3 of the injectors need to be replaced. There's an episode on that too. So when we get some good weather, we're going to start working on that because it can be easily worked on nice days. And we'll get those couple injectors swapped out and see if that's the problem. So that one will probably be coming up sooner than later. We'll have some new episodes on the C4 coming out because I'm really excited to get that car running really well. We have some plans for that car this year, so I'm looking forward to that. And again, working with Katie on her car is going to be great. I really do enjoy working with her side by side when we work on cars together. This is Porsche. This is my middle son's 944, and it needs a little bit of work. It runs, obviously. We're here driving it, and we're driving it home from Columbus, which was like a 2.5-3 hour drive, and it did just fine. It does have a cold start problem where it doesn't want to idle right, so he wants to try to figure that out. He's not sure if it's a fuel pump issue, fuel filter issue. He's had a couple people tell him to check those things. It does need some interior work. He wants to go through it and try to clean up the interior, possibly find a different pair of seats, or just do his own custom set of seats in it. But the interior's it's used, it's worn out, so it needs some work. But the biggest thing is that the engine work needs to be worked on to try to get it to run better on startup. So I know that is his plan on this car. I like those seats. They're really cool. They got like some little detail in them that I really like. But his car, he gets to do whatever he wants with it. So you'll see a few episodes on this one. And who knows? I'm sure we're going to run into more on this car that we weren't expecting to have to do. I know the sunroof doesn't work properly, so there's a little motor on that left side panel that I think I'm going to look at it. There's that motor that controls the top, doesn't work right. So stuff like that will be episodes on that car. So that's going to be that. His plan is for that car to be his summer daily driver, and he's really excited to get that out. So. The 1985 Jeep CJ7. This is my sister-in-law's Jeep. I think they're going to be calling it the Humblebee. That's the current name for it. This one needs, again, we got into wiring on one of the past episodes. It needs a lot more work, so wiring is one of the things that's on the episode list for that vehicle, really to do and just hack out anything that's not needed and make it a much cleaner setup. He wants to put a soft top on it, so we're going to take off that top, and that hard top is got like silicone gluing it to the windshield, and like the seal between the windshield and the cowl is silicone. So it's going to require a little bit of work to do that, and then to mount a brand new hard top. There'll be an episode on that. And there is a good chance that it's going to get painted this year as well. They were undecided on color, and then I think they've decided that they're going to go with the 9B Olympic White, which is the same base white that I have on Rusty, because I have a half a gallon of it left over, and they're going to do some custom graphics on it. But I do believe that is the plan for this Jeep. And again, I'm sure we're going to find other stuff that we're going to shoot episodes on, but that's what I know. We were just talking about the other day, what he wants to get done on that one. He wants it to be a reliable summer driver for his wife, so she can take it to work and back. This is my oldest son's Skyline. So he imported this car, and we don't shoot a lot of episodes on this. It's been in the background of a bunch of episodes, and not that we just haven't wanted to. It's just he's been working on it when I've been working on other projects. So he's done a ton of work on it, and it's gonna probably hit at least 1 or 2 more episodes on my channel. I know he wants to paint it, and he already bought the paint for it. So that's going to happen. We just have to find the time and the place to do it. The whole car's in primer now, though it does need to be sanded down, and we have a couple spots we have to fix on it. The door's got a gouge in it that we need to fix. But this one is definitely going to be on the channel getting a paint job. I don't know what else we're going to do on it on the channel, but expect to see at least 1 or 2 episodes on this car. But he's in California right now, so I'm not quite sure when we're going to get to it. So this car I spoke wrong about on the last episode. This is a 97, not a 94 Stasia. I'm not 100% sure what's going on with this car. If he decides to ship it out to California where he is, honestly, nothing can happen to it. He can't modify it in any way. The only thing I know he did talk to me about at one point was when he's ready to pull the engine out of his Skyline and put it into the Stasia, and then he's going to build an RB25 for the Skyline, because the Skyline right now has an RB20. So he wants to put the bigger engine manual into the Stasia. I don't know when that'll happen, if that'll happen, but having plans are a great thing. So we'll see. I'd love to see all that stuff happen, and it would give us some great content in the future. So hopefully you'll see some content on this Stasia, and I'd really like to see what he does with this car. This car he bought for his wife, so this is technically going to be her car. Last but certainly not least is Rusty. Rusty is what kind of started this channel. As far as why I wanted to start the channel was the building on Rusty. Rusty has come a long way from where it was when I got it, rusted together, falling apart all at the same time, but it's come a long way, and the tub is back, almost ready to go back onto it. Got a ton of stuff to do on this one as far as episodes go. Gonna do rims on it, custom turbine rims. I've got to get the top mounted, and basically it's right now just a rolling chassis with a tub on it. The engine's back in it, so you'll be seeing a ton of stuff on this as I'm really close to putting all the little pieces together to make one big rolling unit where I can start doing all the little things it's going to take to put Rusty back together. So yeah, look, I am looking forward to this because this is my vehicle. This is mine to want to drive. I've been looking forward to driving this for almost 4 years now. So yeah, I'm really excited about getting Rusty down on all fours and driving. So that's where we are with that project. Man, he looks so much better now with all the rest of the paint done. You can see that in a past painting episode of what it looks like now. And that's what we've done for 2 years. I think there's 96, 97 episodes. And 2023 is going to be hopefully an amazing year for 10 Foot Customs. I have a couple of big projects in the works that I really can't talk about yet, but all things that are going to grow the channel and upgrade the viewing quality of the channel, which obviously can't get much worse. So, stay tuned for that. I also have at least 3 or 4 events that I plan to go to this year and actually travel to, not just Norwalk, which is a half-hour drive. I've got at least one, I think, in Columbus we're going to. There is a meeting in Vegas I want to go to. There's a couple of drag and drive events that I'm going to try to hit. I don't know if I'm going to hit the entire weeks, and I don't know if we'll be driving them or just driving along with them. But those are all things that with my new current job I am now able to plan and to do. So I hope you'll stay tuned for all of those exciting things that are going to be coming up. Again, I want to thank everybody for their support. It is a time-consuming process to get out a YouTube channel and to keep episodes coming every week. I thoroughly enjoy it. So I thoroughly enjoy your support of what I'm doing. Thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe so we can grow this channel and I can go do more things and bring you better content in the future. I hope everybody has a great week.